All right, game's loading up right now. Let's jump into it. We got Ayyubids, we got Delhi. MSN in the blue as the
This is going to be a fun matchup. This is going to be a very fun matchup. Aeolus in the classic green Delhi. Love to see it. Both civs going off on the berries as they should be.
Yep, Delhi getting enough to drop that mosque and proceeding on over to the berries. So you've been playing a lot of Ayyubids past couple of seasons. How do you feel against Delhi?
Not wonderful. It's their feudal push is very dangerous. It really depends. At this level of play, at my level of play, I can usually just get the castle pretty fast and then go mass Ghulams, Ghulams camels into whatever it is Delhi wants to do. And usually if they're still sitting in feudal, you can turn the tide fast enough to kind of sweep them off the map. It really depends on how much damage they do to you in feudal age. I feel like you're kind of forced into Desert Raiders, but it doesn't always feel too good if they go mass archers, which they can easily do. At this level of play, I'm curious to see if MSN maybe plays a little bit more feudal and then goes castle. I usually go fairly naked into castle, but again, I'm not as high a player as MSN is. So we'll see how it pans out. I expect probably the Desert Raider, probably the military wing from MSN. And we'll see how Aeolus plays it. I think it's going to depend on kind of on what Aeolus's comp wants to be, because horsemen don't feel great into the camels.
Into a camel
The Desert Raiders. I mean, they trade okay, but the Desert Raiders can definitely deal with them with that high melee armor they have.
Now, both players scouting around. We'll take a look at Aeolus' scouting pattern here.
Yeah, what Mokatonic says in the chat is exactly how I feel about it, actually. Sorry, just that Ghulams. If you can get Ghulams out on the field, it really can win you the game. But you're vulnerable when you go into it, though, until you're there.
Yeah, I always feel nervous going into Delhi because I know that feudal mass is coming, and it scares me. It scares me.
You're tempted to try and match it a little bit, but if you have an extremely fast castle, sometimes it's better just to go for it. And we have House of Wisdom. He's actually going to take the economic growth, so I think this is actually a pretty good call from MSN. I was thinking, if you're not going to go for the Desert Raiders, you're going to go for the economic growth to try and get that castle age even faster, because that's kind of your other option, is if you can just get the castle extremely quickly. In fact, I'll be really curious if he goes for either the advancement wing or for the Desert Raiders next. I almost feel like you go into advancement wing, just get that castle timing super duper fast, because castle age Ghulams, even though Ghazi Raiders do a little bit of extra damage to heavy units like that, it's not really enough to deal with mass Ghulams.
No, it's not. It's a nice little bonus, but it's certainly not.
You can deal with like Dark Age, Dark Age Men-at-Arms easily, Feudal Age Men-at-Arms pretty easily, but not Castle Age Ghulams with that extra health that they have.
Well, no big surprises today for the Delhi. Aeolus going up with the Tower of Victory. Looks like he's going to commit to that feudal play.
I feel like you kind of have to, right? Like, your goal as Delhi here is to try and maybe pressure Ayyubids, make sure they feel uncomfortable as you can. Delay that castle age if you can. Try and get some sacred sites behind it potentially. It's gonna be tough though. I feel like actually Ayyubids has an okay matchup into Delhi. Like I think you're right. There's kind of a nervousness going into Delhi just because you know kind of what's coming. Like you know that they can really play into that feudal timing and you're gonna be vulnerable during that time. But once you get to castle, I mean the whole table, everything just flips.
Yeah, certainly a big sense of dread. Dragavan in the chat mentioning that MSN did lose a berry patch. And lose out on 50 extra food.
Yeah,
Didn't quite split his vills up.
That's the one thing to keep in mind of when you're going for the not advanced, when you're going for those villagers. Getting the extra food on the berries is so nice, because then you're saving the food at home under the TC. Yeah, losing out on extra. But we get extra sheep underneath the town center now, so how much does he really care, right?
Well, both players up to feudal now. Do you see that blacksmith coming out as the first feudal age building for Aeolus? Getting another scholar inside of his mosque here. We got
Now, if
Sanctity,
MSN goes
2.5
for
minutes.
if MSN's going for that culture wing advancement, he only needs 500 gold and 900 food. He is building a barracks and getting a couple of feudal units ready to go. He's got his spearmen coming out to defend the gold line.
Yeah, I'd say he's hunkering in and preparing to defend himself on the way up to castle. Does have a stable as well.
I'm curious. He doesn't have anything cute in it just yet. I'm curious if he's going to go for desert raiders or if he's going to go for horsemen. This is going to be horsemen.
Yeah, and that first stable out for Aeolus right now. Got the scholar inside. Starting the Ghazi Raider mass, following it up with an archery range. Got a little scout on Ghazi action in the middle of the map here. MSN knows those Ghazi are on the way. Second one right behind the first here. Let's take a look at his gold vein. He's got one spear in place. He's got a second one that just popped out of the barracks.
He's got 2 on the berries as well. So I'm standing in a pretty defendable spot. There's no archers yet. He's got a horseman. He's hiding the horseman as much as he can. I don't know if Aeolus saw the stable as he came in. So he might... I mean, that's one of those things you want to try and hide if you can. So if that archer switch comes in, then he'll be able to surprise him with the horseman.
Ooh, and now there are just too many Ghazis for the 2 spears. Losing 1 spear. Might lose the scout as well. Ghazis continue to trickle into the Ayyubids base here. He's looking at 4. Just trying to get that gold to get up.
Doesn't quite have enough yet. He's got to have a lot on wood to make this happen. He's playing for a bit of a feudal game here. So it takes a lot of wood. This defense takes a lot of wood. That's what I kind of expected this, to be honest, because I would have just gone full into the castle play and it had been basically castle or bust. MSN's being a little more methodical here. I think higher level players tend to do this, and something I probably should frankly emulate is playing a little bit of feudal, being defensive with the feudal age instead of trying to go all out, and then just gradually building the castle when you do that, knowing that your opponent's trying to go all in.
Yeah, well, the defensive play seems to be working at this point. MSN able to hold. Ghazi Raiders now turning their focus potentially to the sacred sites as Sanctity just about to finish up. We got 10 seconds left on that.
He is hiding these horsemen very methodically as well. Most of them are kind of in the back of his base. I'm not sure if Aeolus is aware of them just yet.
Get a good mass of 7. Yeah, right in Ayyubid base. Barry's running out at this point, though, so MSN gonna have to switch over to sheep. You do see the first sacred site. It's gonna be captured shortly.
Yeah, Ghazi Raiders looking for a place to raid. Not going to find it. However, a lot of exposed archers on the sacred site and the horsemen coming in. This is going to be a decimation here in a second. He's not going to get that sacred site up. Or is he? It's going to be really close. I don't think it's going to go up, though. The horsemen coming right in.
Yeah, one splits off.
Horsemen.
Stand on the point.
Excellent.
And block that out. MSN doing a great job there. With the vision, could see that the only thing on that sacred site was archers. Able to just wipe them all out, prevent that capture with just a couple of seconds left on the clock. Now MSN seems like he's in a real good position here. Aeolus losing a lot of units, and those horsemen gonna come right into the Delhi base. We do see some spears coming out from Aeolus though to defend.
Yeah, and that was what I was saying. He was hiding those horsemen, trying to keep them on the DL. I wasn't sure if Aeolus had seen that stable. I'm guessing maybe he didn't, because those spearmen were pretty late to come out. He may have not have thought that MSN was building these. He was definitely hiding those horsemen in the back of his base, taking the perfect opportunity to go get those archers on the sacred site. Excellently played by the Msn.dk. I mean, that was like textbook on how to do kind of a, what must feel like for Aeolus a tech swap, but what really was just a methodical plan all along.
Yeah, well played there to anticipate that it would just be archers going out to a sacred site, able to prevent that first capture. We do see another mixed composition returning to that sacred site, looking to capture it. Ghazi Raiders coming in, looking to harass this one villager that's gathering deer. They'll connect. They'll get that Vil. But MSN is more focused on that sacred site. So a couple of horsemen chase the Ghazis, while the main force seeking that sacred site in the middle of the map here. Gonna prevent it again if he can get a unit onto the point. Once again.
Oh my goodness, the timing. Perfect timing from Msn.dk. I mean, you can't get much closer than that. And that's going to sweep this army. That's just too much. And if you look at the overall military numbers, it's 33 to 23. Delhi, which is so well known for their feudal mass, currently lagging behind Msn.dk.
Lost so many archers there. Both players on tri-compositions here. And MSN doing a great job just preventing that Delhi snowball from gathering any sort of mass.
Come on, MSN's got the gold he needs for all the upgrades he's gotten so far. He's slowly getting more and more. He's just had the 3 on gold this entire time. He's just kind of letting that trickle up. So I'm sure when he gets the opportunity, he'll maybe castle up. But right now, he's in such a strong position. He doesn't really need to.
He's actually moved those 3 villagers off of gold. So he's going to commit to that feudal.
Yeah, he's getting Bloomery. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Yeah. Getting Bloomery and then calling it good. Moving on to secure more food on the map for the other deer.
Ghazi's looking for a target, but they're not going to find much in the back of MSN's base here.
Yeah, there's nobody home. Gone fishing. Or in this case, gone hunting. Well, in the tower play from Msn.dk, these fields are going to be pretty safe. He's done a good job of making sure. A lot of lower level players will do this, where they have a ton of vills on one resource and only have like one tower, which can only house 5 villagers. MSN's been very methodical here. He's got enough to house pretty much all of them.
Yep, there's enough space, and look at that, right? As soon as the Ghazi Raiders get over, MSN's aware, pulls those vills right into the tower. You see the arrows coming out, able to pick off one Ghazi. These Ghazis coming out, taking out an archer, but they need to retreat. Did see a horseman get picked off as well for MSN, closer to the Delhi base. See the Delhi's got a nice little pocket eco going up in the north side of the map, has berries and gold over there. These Ghazis are going to be chased down. See Aeolus going to lose a scout. A couple of horsemen give chase. MSN's going to break off the rest. Have them rejoin the main mass near this sacred site. See those Desert Raiders? And we're going to have another battle over the sacred site. And this might be what defines the game here. MSN with just way more units.
Yeah, this is pretty tight looking.
Taking the fight, and we do see that Desert Raider breaking off horsemen. Able to get units onto the point. Not going to capture it this time. And now, looking at the military numbers, Aeolus in a pretty tough position here, as MSN just continues to invest into archers.
This is looking like a rout, I think. I mean, that fight was going to determine it, and I think there was all an edge to MSN at the beginning there. Just not enough to hold on to this. And when you're a Delhi and you're getting beaten feudal, it feels bad, like that. There's not much coming back from that. And MSN just looking absolutely dominant right now.
Yeah, able to contain that Delhi snowball. I mean, I think it just really comes down to that horseman mass was the perfect strategy. Getting over there, wiping out that initial archer ball to make sure that the Delhi never really took a military advantage over the course of the game. Also, never able to capture one of the sacred sites. Had to force Aeolus to create more scholars to continue to try to capture those points.
Yeah. Well, and the eco numbers are pretty dead even right now. They haven't. I think there must have been some idle time on Aeolus' side for about a Vil. But the military numbers is what really is kind of saying the name of the game right now. I agree. Just that horseman play, the tech, and because when the archers were there were no spears, not even one. I mean, a couple spears maybe can make that a more even trade, you know. But Aeolus had all his horsemen pushing the base, feeling secure, thought he was in control, and then really MSN was just laying a trap.
Yeah, Horseman picks off another Scholar going for his sacred site. Aeolus out of Scholars at this point. These Vills trying to complete that tower around the deer. A couple of Gazis in there to protect, but meanwhile, coming straight into the Delhi base is the Ayyubid mass here. And there are just so many Ayyubid archers.
Yeah, it's 3-1 right now. I think that's got to be about it. And sure enough,
you're correct. There it is. There's the GG. Well played by MSN.
Start making Rams.
Yeah, I think MSN, when he moved those 3 Goldvilles over, he was just full commitment to feudal at that point. Close it out. Just keep that military production up. Never going to let Delhi take the edge from that point forward. Yeah, taking a look at the military count graph. This fight right here, MSN able to get his horsemen onto the sacred site, able to just destroy all those Delhi archers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the key to the game right there.